Here. So yesterday, yesterday we have seen like how to work with this, like how to sort it, and we have seen some methods of this list class here. Yeah, we have seen some methods of this list class. So these are the things. Yeah, and after that, I said how to create a list. How to create a list using what here list comprehension. How can you create a list by using list comprehension? So this list comprehension, okay, it is also called as which one? Displays. Now this is a displays for a list, sets and dictionaries. Okay. So for constructing a list, a set or dictionary, Python provides a special syntax called which one? Displays. And each one is there in two flavors. One is the container contents are listed explicitly or they are computed via a set of looping and filtering instructions. See here, you can directly create a list by writing the values within square brackets. Okay, or within the square brackets, you can use which loop here? For loop. Okay, yes, this is what we have seen in the last class. And at the same time, we have seen with the condition also. Okay, we have seen with the condition also. So whatever you write in the square bracket, whatever you write in the square bracket is called as what here? List. Okay, within the list, what you're storing inside the list, you are storing which one? Value. Inside the list, what you're storing? Value. And every time you're reading value from the list and you're checking, is it that value is even? If it is even, that value will be added in the list. If it is odd, that value will not be added in the list. So that is called as filtering. Okay, single line statement. So the same thing is called as what here? Filtering data. Suppose assume that, see the one more example here, how to filter, how to create a list in single statement. Okay, now, for example, I have a list of students. Okay, assume that there is one list called which list here? Grade list. So this grade list contain the students. Okay, inside this list, I created another list. So the list is what here? Grade list. And inside this list, there is one more list. And each list is called as one. Each list is called as one student. Okay, each list is called as one student. Each list is called as one student. And inside this list, there is one list which contain the name of the student and grade of the student. Then I'm writing a name of the student and one more is a grade of the student. Inside this list, you're writing one more student. So name of the student and grade of the student. So each student here is treated as one list. So there is one more, which is grade of the student. So name of the student and one more is a grade of the student. Now what I want to do is, I want to filter all the students. I want to read all the students having which grade? A grade. I want to read all the students having A grade and I want to put inside one list. I want to read all the students having B grade and I want to store in one list. Then what will I do? I create one more list like this. Grade list A. What is the name of this list? Grade list A. Inside this list, what you are storing list. Each element of the list is what here list. Each element of the list is one list. So we can say each list is one student or not. Yes. Each list is called as one student. So what you are storing in the list student, and from where you are reading the student from where you are reading the student from grade list. So every time, so what will happen here is every time it will read. Okay, every time it will read one list and assign to which variable student. So it will read the first student. Okay, so STUD is holding which list here? First list. And this list I should store inside what list? But when I should store this list inside the list, if grade of the student is what? A. Now here STUD is a list and what is the index of this list? 0. And this value index is what? 1. So here I'll write one condition. If so what is the condition I'll write here is if STUD of 1 double equal to what? A. If STUD of 1 double equal to A, then only store the student inside what list. Then only you store the student inside the list. Okay. In the same way, I'm writing grade list B, grade list B equal to student. Okay, for student in for student in what I'm saying here, grade list for student in grade list, and if STUD of 1 double equal to what here? B. If the student of 1 double equal to B, it means if the grade of the student is a B, then you are storing that list. You are storing that list inside what here? List. You are storing that list inside what here? List. When if the grade equal to what here? B. If the grade equal to B, then you are storing that list inside the list. Okay. Then if I am writing grade list C, but is it any student with a C grade? Tell me here, is it any student with a C grade? No. So for STUD in, what is this here? Grade list. Grade list if STUD 1 double equal to which grade here? C grade. Okay, right? Now this is how you are trying to talk about this. Okay, now. So what will happen if I'm trying to print? So if I'm printing grade list A and this is grade list B, okay, and this is grade list grade list A, grade list B, and this one is what here? Grade list C. You are printing first list and second list, and what is that? Third list. So grade list A, grade list B, and one more is grade list C here, right? So what will happen if I what will happen if I run this? You can see this list is having only the students with which grade? A grade. And this list is having the students with which grade? B grade. And this list is what here? Empty. So why this list is empty? Because there is no student with which grade? C grade. Suppose I'll try to add one student with the C grade here. I'll try to add one student with what here? C grade. Now this is a student with which grade here? C grade. Now once I run this, now these are the students with A grade, and these are the students with B grade, and this is a student with what here? C grade. Okay. So inside the list, added one more list. Inside the list, added one more list. Okay. So that process, you are saying it as nested list, and at the same time, it is called as comprehension. Comprehension allows you to write everything in how many lines? One line only. You are creating list by including everything inside square brackets. Everything you are including in the square brackets. Okay. So advantage of that is the advantage of using comprehension. Suppose assume that okay. Suppose assume that okay. Okay. Right now, assume that. So this is how you are trying to create a list, right? So assume that now what I'm doing is one more example. If you see, for example, there is a sales list is there. So this is just to understand how to create a list. Within the sales list, I have a sales of some years. Okay, some number of years. Okay, some 2010 sales, 2010 sales, and 2011 sales. Okay, so each list represent 1 year. Inside the list, each list represent 1 year. So this is 2012 sales. Okay, like this, I have a list of sales here. Okay, so this is sales of 2000. Yes. So there is a 2014 sales. So like this, I have a list of sales here. So there is a 2015 sales. Now it is like this. Now this is called as a list of sales here. Okay, now there is a list inside the list. Now I want to filter all the sales. Okay, now these are some year sales 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I want to filter all the sales. Okay, which are the years which are greater, the sales whose years greater than greater than 50,000. I want to filter all the sales whose sales years are greater than 50,000. Then what I'm doing here, I'm writing here print sales list. Now this is original sales list. I said print sales list means now this is which sales list? Original sales list. This is original sales list here. Okay. If I run this, now this is a sales list which contain the sales of number of years, like 7 years are there. Now what I want is I want to filter. Okay, I want to filter the sales. You are reading the sales from where? Sales list. For sales in what I'm saying here, sales list. Using this for loop, every time you are reading list from list or not? Yes. You are reading a list from list. Now it will read the first list and assign to which variable? Sales. Now it means sales is one list or not? Yes. Within this sales, what is the first value? Year. What is the second value? Sales. First value is year, second value is what? Sales. I need to filter only the sales. Okay, if sales of one, if sales of one is greater than or equal to how much here? 50,000. Means I want to filter all the sales whose sales is greater than or equal to 50,000. So I just write here 50,000 here. Then after that I'm writing sales list. Okay, sales list 2 equal to sales. So for sales in sales list, if sales of one is what is this here? Less than which one? 50,000. Now I try to separate the sales which are greater than 50,000, the sales which are less than 50,000. Now I just write here print sales list 2. You can see this is the sales list 1. These are the years whose sales are greater than These are the years whose sales are greater than or equal to 50,000. And these are the years whose sales is less than or equal to, less than what? 50,000. But how this is done? By using which one? Comprehension. How this is done? This is done with the help of what here? Comprehension. So comprehension makes everything in what? Simple way. Okay. So you don't require to write number of statements for creating list. You are writing everything in how many statements? One statement. You are writing everything in one statement, right? So this is one more way of creating which one? List. This is another way of creating which one? List, right? Uh, then next, we'll go for another data type. And in the sequences, one more data type is there. And what is the name of the data type here? Tuple is there. Okay. So there is one more data type. And what is the name of the data type is a tuple. So there is a list and one more is what? Tuple. So tuple is also a sequence. Okay, tuple is also a sequence data type. So tuple is tuple is what here? Sequence. But tuple is tuple is a immutable. Tuple is what here? Immutable sequence. Means after creating tuple, we cannot, after creating tuple, we cannot do what? Any changes. After creating tuple, we cannot do any changes, right? So tuple is a sequence, okay? And tuple is an immutable sequence, right? Tuple is an immutable sequence means after creating tuple, okay, we cannot do any changes. Means tuple doesn't provide, what is the meaning of this is tuple doesn't provide the following operations. What operations it doesn't provide? Append is not there, insert is not there, remove is not there. You cannot apply delete. You cannot do which one? Update. There is no what? Copy. Sorry. There is no method called which one? Sort. There is no method called which one? Pop. So all these methods are not there in which one? Tuple. Okay, so what is the difference between list and tuple? Means only one thing. List is a mutable, but tuple is what here? Immutable. Means if you want to create a group of objects, where should not allow to do which operations? Adding, inserting, removing, deleting, updating, sorting, and what is that? Pop. Now these methods are not there in the tuple. If you want to add, okay, after creation, if you want to add, you have to convert this tuple to what? List. Okay, inside the tuple, there is no append method. But after creating tuple, if you want to add it, convert tuple into what? List. Then after adding, you should convert list again back to what? Tuple. But where this tuple is used, okay, where this tuple is used in application development, yes, you can use sorted. That is what I said yesterday. Sort is a mutable and sorted is a immutable. So immutable collections, if you want to sort it, then you take the help of which one? Sorted function. Okay. But because sort is which one? Mutable operation. It will sort in place. This will sort in place, but sorted will return new collection. Sorted will return one new collection, right? So append is there, insert is there, and remove, delete, update, sort, and one more is a pop. These methods will not be there. Okay, because it is an immutable sequence. According to Python, where this tuples are used. Okay, so where if you want to represent immutable collection of objects, okay, if you want to represent a group of objects, and after creation, if you don't want any changes to be done, see here, this is a Python definition. This is a Python definition of tuples. So tuples are Now this is a Python definition. What Python says that, okay, this is a Python definition. So what Python says that, okay, so tuples are immutable sequences and these are used to store collection of which data? Heterogeneous data. Heterogeneous means it can be same type or it can be what? Different type. Homogeneous means what? Same type. But heterogeneous means what? Either it can be same type or it can be what? Different type. Okay. Yes. 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 Okay. So tuples are immutable sequences. Okay. And use it to store, okay, collection of heterogeneous data. Now such as, so where tuple is used. Now tuples are used by which one? Enumerate. See, when you are using enumerate, enumerate is just like iterator, right? But it will return how many values? Two values. But that two values are written inside what? Tuple. It means the values are the object written by enumerate. Is it mutable or immutable? Immutable. It will read it, but after reading, you cannot do any changes, right? And tuples also used where an immutable sequence of homogeneous data is required. It means this tuples also used. This tuples also used to represent data in. This tuples also used to represent data in what? Sets. These tuples are used to represent data in sets, and these tuples are used to represent data in which one? Dictionary objects. So within the set, you cannot add a list. Within the set, you cannot add the list, but within set, you can add which one? Tuple. Within dictionary, you cannot add, within dictionary, you cannot add a key as a list, but within dictionary, you can add a key as which one? Tuple. It means you can also use these tuples to represent data inside what? Set. You can also use the tuples to represent data in what? Dictionary. And these tuples also used by which one? Enumerate for generating values. For generating what? Values. So where the tuples are used? Tuples are used to represent collection of which one? Heterogeneous data. And tuples are used by certain objects like which one? Enumerate. And tuples are used in application development to represent data in what? Set, and to represent data in what? Dictionaries. So where you require immutable collection of objects, then you can go for tuple. And not only that, it is used in sets. It is also used in which one? Dictionaries. So why? Because you cannot add a list inside a set. Okay, but you can add a tuple inside what? Set. Why you cannot add a list? We'll discuss that. Why you can add only a tuple inside the set? We'll discuss that. Because generally you'll say, okay, set and dictionaries, these are called hash based. It uses hash based data structures. So set uses hash based data structure and dictionary also uses hash based data structure. So when you're saying hash based, where you can add only which objects? Hashable objects. And which objects are called as hashable objects is only immutable objects are called which one? Hashables. That we'll discuss once we move to which one? Sets. Okay, right. But just to try to understand, so tuple is immutable sequence means after creating tuple, you cannot do any changes. Okay, now how to create a tuple? To create a list, we are using one symbol called which one? Square bracket. But to create a tuple, you are using one symbol called which one? Parenthesis. Now here parenthesis represents what here? Tuple. Parenthesis represents what here? Tuple, right? Parenthesis. You are using a parenthesis for representing what here? Tuple. So tuples may be constructed in number of ways. So how many ways can you construct the tuple here is? So these are different ways in which you can construct which one? Tuple. Now using a pair of parenthesis. Okay, empty parenthesis. So these are the different ways in which you can construct the tuple here. Okay. So tuples may be constructed in number of ways. So these are different ways. in which you can construct the tuple here. So first one is, okay, using pair of parentheses to denote the empty tuple. Using a pair of parentheses to denote the empty tuple. This is empty tuple. And using a trailing comma for singleton tuple. Okay, singleton means the tuple which contain how many objects? One object. But if you want to create a tuple with one object, you store one object and separate with what? Comma. Now you can create a tuple with multiple objects by writing within parenthesis and separating these objects with what here? Comma. And you can also create a tuple by using one built-in function. And what is the name of that function? Tuple. Okay. And this is creating a tuple. And you can convert other iterables into which type? Tuple type. Other iterables. Iterables are collections or not? Yes. If you want to convert other collections into which type? Tuple type. Even you are taking the help of which function? Tuple function. If you want to convert other iterables into a tuple, now you are taking the help of which function? Tuple function, right? So these are different ways in which you can construct which one? Tuple, right? So how can you work with this tuples here? Yeah, so you are creating a tuple. See here. Not only that, there are a lot of usages of tuple. Okay, in application development, whenever you want to create a collection of objects, you want to create a container, you want to create a container where there should not be changes to be any changes to be allowed. You want to create a container, but you don't want any changes to be allowed within that container after creation. Then use which one? Tuple. I'm saying here T1, T1 equal to empty parenthesis. This empty parenthesis indicates which tuple? Empty tuple. If I'm saying print, print T1, yes or no? Okay, this is print T1. But print, what is this here? Type of which one? T1. So T1 is object of which class here? Tuple class. So I just write here T1 equal to this empty parenthesis. Then when I say print T1, this is displayed which tuple? Empty tuple. And if you are writing a print type of T1, and T1 is object of which class here? Tuple class. T1 is a object. T1 is object of which class here? Tuple class. Okay, right. Now this is how you are creating a tuple. Okay, and you can also create a tuple with one object. But how can you create a tuple with one object? You should store one object and separating with what? Comma. But the tuple which contain only one object, the tuple which contain only one object, that tuple is called which tuple? Singleton tuple. So that tuple is called as which tuple here? Singleton tuple. The tuple which contain how many objects? One object. It's called as a singleton tuple. If I'm saying print T2, and this is a tuple contain how many objects here? Only one object. If I'm saying type of T2, T2 is an object of which class here? Tuple class. T2 is an object of which class here? Tuple class. Yeah, you can convert tuple to list and list to what here? Tuple. No problem. This is how you are trying to create it. But suppose if I'm writing T3 equal to within parenthesis, if I'm writing only one object, is it this is a tuple? No, this is not a tuple because parenthesis also used for grouping expression or not? Yes. Parenthesis is also used for grouping what here? Expression. So this is treated as one expression or not? Yes, this is treated as one expression. So which expression? Integer. So generally it is used for grouping. Suppose you will say like this, right? You'll say 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2, okay. So minus, okay, then I'm saying 1 into 2 like this. Now if I'm writing this, now whatever I write in the parenthesis is called as which one? Expression. Then this is evaluate this expression and written as which type of object? Integer object. But is it this is treated as a tuple or integer? Integer. Suppose if I say print print T3, T3, what is the value of T3? 10. But is it in parenthesis? No. It means this is an object of which class here? Integer class. This is an object of which class? Integer class. Because if you want to create a tuple with one object, you have to separate with what? Comma. So that object you called it as which object? Singleton tuple. Okay. So singleton tuple means the tuple contain only one object. Now suppose you can create a tuple with multiple objects. So 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma. Yes. Okay. Now this is a tuple contain how many values? 5 values. But these values can be either similar type 10 comma 1.5 comma, okay, true comma, okay, I'm saying some nourish comma, then I'm saying it as which one? Python. It means how many objects are stored inside the tuple? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But is it all these objects are same type or different type? Different type. So different type means heterogeneous. Different type means heterogeneous. Similar type means homogeneous. Heterogeneous, and this is what here? Homogeneous. And then I'm trying to print. What is the name of this object? T5. Now this tuple contain how many objects here? 5 objects. Integer is there, float is there, boolean is there, and string, and one more is also string. Right? Okay. Now you can also create a tuple. You can also create a tuple by using other collections. Now I can convert the list into what here? Tuple. I can convert list into what here? Tuple. So whatever you write in the square brackets is called as which one? List. And this list is converted to what here? Tuple. So print what is that? T6. Now T7 equal to tuple. I can use which one? Range for creating this tuple or not? Yes, 1 comma 6. Now tuple is created with how many objects? 5 objects. Okay, that is from 1 to 5. I can create a tuple by using any iterable. I'm saying tuple of within double quotes. I'm writing which one? Python. Each time it will read one character and stored inside what? Tuple. And if I'm saying print T8, now tuple 8 is having how many strings here? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So how many objects are there in the tuple? Some 6 objects are there, and all these 6 objects are what here? Strings. All these are the strings or not? Yes. Now this is how you are trying to do it. Okay. So you are trying to convert range into a tuple. You are converting string into a tuple. You are converting list into what here? Tuple. You can convert tuple also into what? Tuple. Means you can construct the tuple by using existing tuple. So within the parenthesis, I write 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Now, when you are saying tuples are which type here? Sequences. And all sequences are which collection? Index based. Okay. All sequences in which collection? Index based. No, no, only one if you can write, not multiple ifs. You cannot write multiple ifs. You can write only one if. You cannot write multiple ifs. You can write only one if. Test is only one. So there is no multiple here. There is only one. Okay. You cannot write multiple ifs. So no, that is only one syntax. You are writing everything inside one square bracket. You are writing everything in one square brackets. Okay, that is only one, not multiple. Okay, right now these are the different ways in which you can create what here tuple. You can convert any other iterable into which type? Tuple. But tuple is what here? Immutable. So tuple is immutable. Okay. So the way how you are reading the content from the list, in the same way, you can read the content from where? Tuple. Okay, now the way how you are reading the content from the list, in the same way, you can read the content from where? Tuple also. Okay. Yeah, how this is just here. Yeah, right. Uh, so the way how you are reading the content from the list, in the same way you can read the content from what? Tuple. I said no. Tuple is immutable. I created one empty tuple. After creation, can you add up? Can you write T1 dot append 10? Is it append is there in tuple? No, append is not there in the tuple. So immediately it is given what? Error. Okay. Suppose I create a list one. I create a list one. Now this is a tuple one, right? And this is a list. After creating a list, can you add it? Yes. By using which method? Append method. Because after creation, you can do append. But after creation, you can add it. After creation, can you do the changes in the list? Yes. But after creation, can you do changes in the tuple? No. After creation, you can do the changes in the list. But after creation, you cannot do the changes in what? Tuple. If you're trying to do the changes and using append method, then immediately it is given what here? Error. Which error here? Attribute error, saying that tuple object has no attribute called which one? Append. So there is no append method in what? Tuple. For example, I create a list 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, now can I replace the value of first? Can I replace the value at second place? Yes. By saying list 2 of 0, sorry, list 2 of 1 equal to 99. Is it second element is updated or not? Yes. For example, I create a tuple 2 equal to tuple 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Can I say T2 of 1 equal to 99? Can you do the replacement? No, because tuple is mutable or immutable? Immutable. Tuple is immutable. You cannot do any changes here. Tuple object doesn't support item assignment. Means after creation, you cannot do any changes. After creation, you cannot do any changes. For example, list 3 is there. I created a list 3. List 3 is having 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Now, these are the elements in list 3, right? Can I delete one element? Yes. By saying delete list 3 of which one? Some 2. What is a list 3 of 2? 30. Is it 30 get deleted or not? Yes. If I say print list 3, there is 30. 30 get what here? Deleted. Suppose I create a tuple 3 with a 10, 20, 30, 40 and what? 50. And if I say delete tuple 3 of tuple 3 of which one? 2. What is the value at 2 here? 30. But will it delete? No, because tuple is what here? Immutable. Immutable means you cannot do any changes. After creation, you cannot do any changes. That is called as what here? Immutable. Okay. So you cannot add it, you cannot replace it, you cannot delete it, you cannot do any other changes after creation. So tuple is an immutable sequence. A tuple is immutable collection. So here, these are examples for proving whether it is mutable or immutable. So you cannot do all these operations. If you are trying to apply all these operations immediately, if you are trying to apply all these operations immediately, it gives what here? Error. I said no, yeah, you cannot write. I said you cannot write multiple means again you are writing multiple. You write if you want to write it. If and use or and or Anshul, use and or here. What is that? Use and or. If number mod 2 equal to 0 and number greater than 10, why again you are writing if? Multiple ifs are not allowed here. That is not a conditional statement. Okay. Where you test it, based on the test, you'll write it here. Okay, na? Anshul Kum. Okay, na? And you can use no. Why you are using if again? You don't know how to write a logic. That's the reason I'll say practice. It will give error here, syntax error, no. Because you can write how many? Only one if. Okay, what is the syntax? I said list comprehension yesterday, right? Okay, if how many ifs I can use? Only one if followed by condition. If the condition is a true, it will add that value. If the condition is a false, it will not add that value, right? Yes. Why you are writing two ifs, I don't know. And that syntax, how you write like that here. Before writing also you have to think if, what is that here? ऐसे लिख रहा देखो है ना. Is it this is correct way of writing a program? If what is the meaning of if? Is it any meaning? Any meaningless? There's no meaning of that, right? What do you think you write directly here? If number is mod 2 equal to 0, if number is greater than what is this here? Use AND operator, OR operator is there, no? If number mod 2 equal to 0 and number is greater than 10. Why again one more if? So that's the reason I said you to write programs, practice logical operators. Okay, when to use and when to use or. Okay, now yes, you have to do here. You have to practice. So this is the why you are saying tuple is immutable here. Now tuple is an immutable sequence or what? Collection. Okay. Yes. Now if you are trying to do like this, what will happen? Immediately it gives what here? Errors. Right? So now tuple allows you to do the same thing. The way how you are reading content from the list, In the same way, you can read the content from what? Tuple, because all the sequences, how many sequences are there? Some six are there, right? What is the first one? List. What is the second one? Tuple. What is the third one? Range. What is the fourth one? String. What is the fifth one? Bytes. What is the seventh one? Bytes array. So all these are different sequences or not? Yes. The way how you are reading the content from the list, the way how you are reading the content from the list, in the same way you can read the content from tuple, you can read the content from range, you can read the content from string, you can read the content from bytes, you can read the content from what? Binary. How many ways can you read the content from the list? You can read by using which one? Index. Using index, how many values can you read? One value. Using slicing, how many values? More than one value. You can read one value at a time using for loop. You can able to read it using iterator. You can able to read it using enumerate. So all sequences are index based. When you're saying index based, it will support indexing and slicing. All sequences are index based, and when you're saying index based, it supports indexing and what? Slicing. Index based collections supports indexing and what is that? Slicing. Okay, right. So list, tuple, range, string, bytes and bytes array. And the way how you are reading the content from the list, in the same way you can read the content from tuple. So all sequence data types, now you should know this, all sequence data types allows to read data or objects, read data or objects in what are different ways. One is using what you are using here, index, and second one is slicing, and third one is for loop, fourth one is iterator, and fifth one is what here? Enumerate. The way how you are reading content from other collections, in the same way you are reading content from which one? Yes. Okay, now, for example, there is a tuple is there. I'm writing one program. So there is a tuple where how many values are there? 5 values. How can I read the values from this tuple? By using index. Can I use index for reading or not? Yes. T1 of T1 of 0, T1 of what? 1, T1 of 2, T1 of 3, T1 of 4. So how many values I read? 5 values. I read 5 values using what here? Index. So how many values are there? 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. How many values I read here? 5 values I read. Okay. Then I can also read by using which one? Slicing. T1 of, I want to read first 3 values. Okay, T3 equal to T1 of, I want to read last 3 values. Okay, then if I say print T2 and print what is that? T3. So how can you read more than one value? Using which one? Slicing. Now this is read first 3 values and this is read what? Last 3 values. You can read by using which loop? For loop for value in. What is this? Tuple 1. And every time you're reading one value, all this we have seen in the list. The way how you are reading, working with the list, in the same way you are working with which one? Tuple. Only the thing is, this is what? Immutable. Only one difference is there. What is what one difference? This is immutable, but list is what here? Mutable. Example of reading content from where? Tuple. Example of reading content from tuple, and you are reading the content from tuple. Yes. And this is the output here. So this is how you are reading the content of the tuple here, right? So yes. Let us see an example here. Yes, tuple. If you see the tuple example, okay, we just take from geeks here. Yeah, these are the programs on which one? Tuple. So Python program to find the size of a tuple. Python program to find the size of a tuple. So what is this size of the tuple? So find the size of a tuple in Python. So finding size is nothing but I want to find how much space occupied by the tuple. Because now they may ask you what is the difference between tuple and what is a list. They may ask you what is the difference between tuple and what list. But you can tell one difference, right? What is the difference? List is a mutable and tuple is a immutable. And list occupies more space, but tuple occupies less space. Why tuple occupies less space? Because it is immutable. So for doing this mutable operations, it requires some extra space. For doing this mutable operations, it requires some extra space. Now, what is the difference? What is the difference between what is this list and what is the difference between the list and what? Tuple. What is the difference between the list and tuple? Okay, now this is called as a list and this is called as which one? Tuple. So what is the difference between the list and tuple here, right? So here list is an immutable. List is which one? Mutable sequence. And tuple is which sequence here? Immutable sequence. Okay. List is a mutable sequence and tuple is immutable sequence. That itself says that okay, list allows adding, removing, okay, removing and updating after what? Creation. Okay, but tuple doesn't allows. Okay, tuple doesn't allows. Okay, adding, okay, removing, okay, removing and updating after what here? Creation. Okay, list occupy more space. List occupies more space because okay, because it is which one? Mutable. Okay, to perform this mutable operation, it requires some extra space. So tuple is immutable sequence. Okay, list occupy. Tuple tuple does not occupy, okay, more space. Okay, more space because it is what here? Immutable. For doing this mutable operations, it requires some extra space, but for immutable it doesn't require that extra space, right? And list is created using which one? Square brackets. And tuple is created using which one? Parenthesis. And list class represents which object? List object. And tuple class represents which object here? Tuple object. List class represent list object and tuple class represents which object? Tuple object. Like this, how you are writing this list, and one more is which one? Tuple. Okay, now this is where you find the difference between the list and tuple. So find the size of the tuple in Python. Why you are finding? You want to know which one will occupies more space. Okay, now this is a question here. Find the size of the tuple So if you want to find the size of any object, you are using one function. What is the name of the function is get size of. Okay. So in order to find, in order to find, in order to find, in order to find size of any object, in order to find the size of any object, so Python provide a predefined function called get what is it size of. So there is a function called get size of, and this function exists. This function exists in which module? Sys module. This function exists in which module? Sys module is there. For example, now this is a tuple, right? I need to import which module here? Sys module. And after importing sys module, I'm creating one tuple with how many values? 5 values. Now this is a tuple with how many values here? 5 values are there. I created tuple with how many values? 5 values I created. Okay. Now this is a tuple having 5 values. Now I want to know what is the size of it. I want to know what is the size of it. How can I find the size in bytes? How many bytes it occupies? Print format. Okay, size in which one? Bytes. What I'm saying, sys dot. What is the name of the function? Get size of. If you want, you can see this function get size of. It is there in which module? Sys module. So get size of which object here? Tuple object. Okay. So what will happen? Okay, what will happen if I run this? What is the size of this in how many bytes here? 80 bytes. Shall we compare with a list? There is a list with 10, 20, 30, 40, and what? 50. So print format. What is this? Size in. Size in which one? Bytes. Sys dot. Get a size of. Get a size of. Which object here? List one object. Okay. So what is the size of this list? 120 bytes. What is the size of this tuple? 80 bytes. So which one is, but number of objects are same or different? Same. So a tuple is having 5 objects and list is also having 5 objects, but list is occupied what? More space compared to which one? Tuple. Why? It requires some extra space for doing which operations? Mutable operations. But is a tuple required any extra space? Because tuple is which one? Immutable. Okay. Yes. This is just to know which one occupies more size. Okay. Yes. For that, you are using one function called get size of. Get size of is a function and that will return the size of the tuple. That will return the size of the tuple and that will return the size of which object? List object. That will return the size of tuple and that will return the size of which object? List object. Okay now, right. Next is, now next problem you'll see. Okay, so what is the next problem here? Just here, Python maximum and minimum k elements in tuple. Okay, maximum and minimum k elements in the tuple. Now what is asking is finding the maximum and minimum k elements in the tuple. Python maximum and minimum k elements in the tuple. Sometimes while dealing with tuples, see here, sometimes dealing with the tuples, we can have a problem in which we need to extract only extreme k elements. It is maximum and minimum k elements in what tuple. So this problem can have an application across domains such as which one? Web development as well as data science. Okay, this kind of problems you come across when you're working with web development and when you are also working with which one? Data science. Okay, data science. Now sometimes while dealing with the tuples, okay, we have a problem in which we need to extract only extreme k elements. It is maximum and minimum k elements in what? Tuple. This problem can have an application across domains such as web development and data science. Extreme. Okay, now? Yes. So this is test cases are given. What is this input tuple is this? And you should get which one? Extreme, maximum and minimum. What you are given here, k equal to 2 means 2 minimum and 2 maximum. Okay, now k equal to 1 and 1 minimum and 1 maximum. Then what you have to do? Sort it. What do you have to do? Sort. How can you sort the tuple? Is this tuple is mutable or immutable? Immutable. So immutable means I said how can you sort immutable collections? By using one function called sorted. So there is no sort method in what? Tuple. There is a sort method in what? List. Because sort is a mutable or immutable? Mutable. But if you want to sort immutable collections, then use which function? Sorted function. Okay. So what do you do it? Very simple. For example, you say test tuple is there, right? So this is a test tuple. I just take one test tuple. Okay, test tuple I've taken the value of k is what here? 2. Okay. Then I should read how many minimums and how many maximums? 2 minimum and 2 maximum. So test tuple and the value of k is 2. So from this, I should get which one? Minimum and maximum. How can I get that? So sort it. Now this is sorted tuple. This is a sorted tuple. And how can you sort the tuple? By using a function called sorted. Which tuple you are sorting here? Test tuple. Now you can say this is original tuple, which is called as a test tuple. And this is called as which tuple? This is called as which tuple? Sorted tuple. Okay. So test tuple is there and one more is a sorted tuple. And once you run this, this is a first tuple and this is what? Sorted function is written this tuple by converting into which type here? List. From this, I should read this sorted tuple. I have to convert this sorted into what? List into which type here? Tuple type. Because this sorted is returning the result into which type? This sorted is returning the result into which type? List. But I converted list into what now? Tuple. Now you can see both are what now? Tuple. Now from this extreme minimum, extreme what here? Maximum. Okay. So what is the value of k? 2. Then I should read first 2 elements which are 2 minimum and last 2 elements which are 2 maximum. And then that you should store in another tuple. Some result tuple is there. Okay. Now this is a result tuple equal to what I'm saying? Sorted tuple of slicing, right? Colon which one? K. So 0 and 1. What is the value of k? 2. How many elements are read from the tuple? 2 elements. First 2 elements, and in the same way, you have to read what? Last 2 elements. Last 2 elements, I'm saying sorted underscore tuple of what should I write? Okay, last 2 elements means minus k colon. And after that, what you are doing here? Plus. Plus is for adding or concatenating. Concatenating. These 2 tuples you concatenated and then store into which tuple? result tuple. Okay, so plus operator always use for adding a concatenation, concatenation. Now you can see extreme 2 minimum and 2 what here maximum. Okay, 2 minimum and 2 maximum. So I read first 2 elements from sorted tuple and last 2 elements from sorted tuple and then done which operation plus. But here plus is not addition, plus is not for addition, plus is for what? Concatenation. This both the tuples are concatenated and stored in which tuple? Result tuple. Okay, stored in which tuple here? Result tuple, right? Yeah, these are some technical questions, right? And this is a solution for this. Okay, now then in the same way, you can also do other programs like this. So create a list of tuples from a given list having number and its cube in each tuple. What is this problem? We'll see this. So Python program to create a list of tuples from given list of numbers. So given list of, see here, given list of numbers of list, see the what is asking exactly. So this is a given a list of numbers of list. Write a Python program to create a list of tuples having first element as a number and second element as a cube of a number. So this is a list, right? And this list is having 1, 2, 3. Then you have to create a list and that list should contain what now? Tuples. And each tuple should contain number and cube of a number. Okay, number and one more is which one? Cube of a number. And number and one more is a cube of a number. Now this is a list contain how many values? 3 values. Now you should read a number and then you should put inside what? List. And each element in the list is what? Tuple. And each tuple is having number and cube of a number. Simple. Only one statement you can write. What is that? Comprehension. Because you are creating list, right? What you are creating now? List. For example, there is a list is there. Okay, there is a list. Now list 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. What is asking? Create another list. And this list should contain what? Tuple. And this tuple should have a value of number and cube of a value. It should have a number and number cube. Number, comma, number to the power of 3. But from where you are reading number? You are reading number from where? List 1. So every time you are reading one number from list 1 and then you are storing that number, you are finding the number and number cube and storing in one tuple, and this tuple you are storing into what here? List. Only one statement. Now this is a list and this is a list contain what? Tuples. There is a list and list contain tuples. Once you run this, you can see 1 to the power of 1 to the power of 3 is 1, 2 and 2 to the power of 3 is 8, and then 3 to the power of 3 is what? 47, and there is a 4 to the power of 3 is what? 64, and there is a 5 to the power of 3 is what? 125. So this is how you are trying to create. So this is a solution for this problem. So number of problems are there, but you have to practice. Okay. So for example, see here. tuple. See here, create 1, 2, 3. Now create Python. So Python adding tuple to a list and vice versa. So this is adding list to tuple, tuple to list. So Python adding tuple to list and vice versa. List to tuple and tuple to what? List. List to tuple and tuple to list. Now sometimes while working with Python containers, we can have a problem in which we need to perform addition of one container within another. So this kind of problem can have an occurrence in many data domain across computer science and programming, right? So yes, how can you solve this? Like how can you add? So tuple into the list and list into the tuple. Okay. How can you add tuple into the list and list into the tuple? Vice versa. How can you add it? Very simple, right? Can you add a list into a tuple? Yes. Can you add a tuple inside the list? Yes. You can add both. No problem. You can add anything into anything. So there's no like, see here, the original list. Oh, adding means what is doing? Concatenation. What is expecting here? Test list is there 5, 6, 7 and 9, 10. List and tuple both are added and stored in. Adding means is concatenating. What is doing is concatenating and storing into the list into, see there is a list is there. What is his requirement is list is there, and what is said is tuple is there. He want to store this. What is the problem definition? Adding means combining and storing into what? List, and again storing into what? Tuple. Very simple. What you are doing? You are storing the result list equal to list 1 plus what? Tuple 1. Okay, result tuple equal to tuple of, only conversion you have to do, and then tuple 1. So we concatenated list and tuple and stored into which type? List type. And we concatenated list and tuple and stored in which type? Tuple type. But these both are same type or different types? Different types, right? So this is what is asking. List 1 is there and tuple 1 is there, and there is a result list is there. Okay, and there is a result list is there and result tuple is there. Result list is there and result tuple is there. But there is an error, right? What is error? Can only concatenate list but not which one? Tuple. What do you have to do? Convert this. Convert this tuple into what here? List. Convert this into which one? List into what? Or convert this list into which one? Tuple. So because whenever you do concatenation, both must be same type or different type? Same type. Concatenation is done on the same type, but concatenation is not done in what? Different types. Concatenation is done on the same type, but concatenation is not done on different types. Okay, because of that, you you converted tuple into what? List, and here list into what? Tuple, and then addition is done and again converted into which type? Tuple type. So typical problem you come across while working with the data science. Okay, yeah, you come across this problem when you're working with the data science projects, right? So this you can call it as a output. So output of your code here, right? Yes. Then we'll see some more operations related to tuple, and then we'll talk about One more collection is there. What is it? Another collection is, okay, we have seen list tuple, a range. Okay, list tuple, a range. And after that, what do you have? String, bytes and bytes array. After that, we'll go for sets. Okay, now today I'll stop here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? So thank you. We'll see tomorrow.